a hero of mine. Her name is Aung San Suu Kyi. She's a champion of human rights and decency in Asia, and a symbol of hope to all struggling people. She's also the world's only imprisoned Nobel Prize recipient. Even though she won 82% of the parliamentary seats in her country, she was locked away by the military regime and has been held for 11 years under house arrest. That same military force has destroyed over 3,000 villages in eastern Burma and forced over 1.5 million people to leave their homes. They've also raped thousands of women and recruited more child soldiers than any other country in the world. Even though she's compared to a modern-day Gandhi or Nelson Mandela, most people in America still don't know about Aung San. And let's face it, the name's a little difficult to remember. Here's how I did it. Aung San sounds like unsung, as in unsung hero. Aung San Suu Kyi is truly an unsung hero. Join the campaign to help Aung San Suu Kyi and the people of Burma. Join the Human Rights Action Center and the U.S. Campaign for Burma today. Together we can find the love.
Jim Carrey. Now, as promised, here is Edge Correspondent Frank Lordi's presentation on the Tower card in the Tarot and 9/11.
My name is Frank Lordi. I'm going to be talking to you about something a little bit strange today. As many of you know from past episodes, I am a Christian, and I take my faith very seriously. What I'm going to talk about today is tarot cards. Specifically, the Tower tarot card. I was taught my entire life to avoid tarot cards, avoid anything that deals with the occult, and I did that. But while I was researching information for one of my Salvation Revelation podcasts, I was looking into a supposed lost book of Nostradamus. And there was a TV special dealing with it, and one of the things they mentioned was that one of these pictures, these are not quatrains as Nostradamus was known for specifically, but these drawings, and one of them was related to the tarot card of the Tower. And I know nothing about tarot cards, so, I'm interested in getting to the truth and understanding this stuff and presenting it to my audience, so I looked up the Tower tarot card. And to be blunt, what I found blew my mind. I don't want to lead anyone down that path. I don't want, anyone following my footsteps and thinking it's a good idea to dabble in the occult. I'm sure some of you probably do already, but I feel very strongly about this, and I just want to make that clear. That having been said, I'm going to read to you information dealing specifically with the Tower tarot card. So I can't really show the card to you, but I will shoot some links over to Andy, and hopefully he can post them up for me. If you want to see the picture of the card or, check my reference material to make sure I'm not lying about all this, I will definitely get a link over to Andy. Anyway, I will begin reading to you. This is from a website called eclectic.net. As the fool leaves the throne of the goat god, he comes upon a tower. Fantastic, magnificent, and familiar. In fact, the fool himself helped build this tower back when the most important thing to him was making his mark on the world and proving himself better than other men. Inside the tower, at the top, arrogant men still live, convinced of their rightness. Seeing the tower again, the fool feels as if lightning has just flashed across his mind. He thought he'd left that old self behind when he started on this spiritual journey, but he realizes now that he hasn't. He's been seeing himself like the tower, like the men inside, so alone and singular and superior, when in fact he is no such thing. So captured is he by the shock of this insight that he opens his mouth and releases a shout. And to his astonishment and terror, as if the shout has taken form, a bolt of actual lightning slashes down from the heavens, striking the tower and sending its residents leaping out into the waters below. In a moment, it is over. The tower is rubble, only rocks remaining. Stunned and shaken to the core, the fool experiences grief, profound fear and disbelief, but also a strange clarity of vision, as if his inner eye has finally opened. He tore down his resistance to change and sacrifice, and then broke free of his fear and preconceptions of death. He dissolved his belief that opposites cannot be merged, and shattered the chains of ambition and desire. But here and now, he has done what was hardest, destroyed the lies he held about himself. What's left is the bare, absolute truth. On this he can rebuild his soul. With Mars as its ruling planet, the Tower is a card about war, a war between the structures of lies and the lightning flash of truth. The Tower stands for false concepts and institutions that we take for real. When the querent gets this card, they can expect to be shaken up, to be blinded by a shocking revelation. It sometimes takes that to see a truth that one refuses to see, or to bring down beliefs that are so well constructed. What's more important to remember is that the tearing down of this structure, however painful, makes room for something new to be built. No card scares a tarot reader like the Tower, or the person they're reading for, if that person knows anything about tarot cards. It is, however, one of the clearest cards when it comes to meaning. False structures, false institutions, false beliefs are going to come tumbling down, suddenly, violently, and all at once. What's important to remember as a tarot reader is that the one you're reading for likely does not know that something is false. Not yet. To the contrary, they probably believe that their lover's being faithful, that their religious beliefs are true and right, and that there are no problems in their family structure, that everything is fine at work, and they're just fine, really. Alas, they're about to get a rude awakening, shaken up, torn down, blown asunder, and all the reader can do to soften a blow is to assure the querent that it's all for the best. Nothing built on a lie, on falsehoods, can remain standing for long. Better to tear it all down and rebuild on the truth. It is not going to be pleasant or painless or easy, but it will be for the best. Now, personally, I don't have an opinion on whether or not tarot cards work or are accurate. I've never partaken in it. This is my first exposure to it. And all I could think about while I was reading this was 9/11 and the New World Order. And the imagery is very clear. You have a tower on fire, being struck suddenly out of the blue, with people tumbling out of the tower. I am going to read to you some more about this Tower tarot card, but before I do, I want to make my stance or my belief about 9/11, put it out into the public. I firmly believe there are too many holes in the official story about 9/11 to take anything the government has told us about the event seriously. The fact that some of the hijackers are still alive, and we have them listed as dead and having been on the plane, especially the one whose passport showed up on the street unhurt, untarnished. Big problem. Building 7. Big problem. Whether or not you think this makes me a crazy conspiracy kook, or the fact that I believe that it was brought down at least in part by those that worship Lucifer as part of some kind of a grandiose sacrifice, you can't possibly tell me that this hasn't changed the world. Not just what it's like for me living here in New Jersey, where I was able to smell the rubble of the World Trade Center from my front porch, but it shook the world. America, Britain, we're all so afraid of terrorism that we are willing to give up our rights. We're willing to give up the structures and concepts that protected us from tyranny. We're willing to give all that up just to please government, keep us safe from harm. Please don't let the bad boogeymen get us. What does this have to do with tarot cards? I think it's got everything to do with tarot cards. I firmly believe that these people are absolutely obsessed with the occult. In all forms, numerology, Kabbalah, tarot, worshipping all forms of pagan deity, including Lucifer. And some of you may not have a problem with that, but I have a huge problem with that. Alright, so now I'm going to read to you from a site called tonyallen.co.uk. This is again talking about the Tower Tarot card. The Tower Tarot card sits at number 16. Throughout our lives, we all strive to obtain and retain a sense of self and individual identity. This starts at the emperor